And welcome back to another Tech Tip Tuesday. So today's Tech Tip Tuesday is all about your airbrush stencils. These things are great. They last forever if you take care of them. Generally, you don't have to clean them that often. Basically, the only time you really have to clean them is if you have excessive paint buildup that it starts to affect the way the template works. So that happens quick on small templates with lots of cutouts. You can fill in these little gaps with paint as you use it. So in that instance, you're going to want to kind of keep track of the smaller ones or the more detailed ones. The bigger ones hold up for quite a long time. But even still, the more you use, say, the straight edge, the more paint will build up on that, and then it'll start to get ragged and you're going to want to clean it off. So I'm going to show you a couple tips that I use to clean mine off and keep them going for a long time. So the things you're going to need, and I'll post a lot of this in the description. Basically, a clean place to work, flat place to work. You're going to need a small tray. What I have here is just this is an old tray from one of those old toaster ovens. I don't know where I came across it, but it works really, really well. So this little tray I use for cleaning my airbrushes as well. So if I drop a piece, it doesn't go anywhere. But you can also substitute, anything really that's low and flat, like a cookie sheet. Something like that will work really well as well, and inexpensive too. So it's a bonus. The other thing you're going to need are cleaners. So for the templates, there are two things you got to keep in mind. One is what kind of paint you use. That will just make sure that you can get the paint off of the template, but also you have to know what the template is made out of. Now if you use automotive paints, for instance, and you have solvent-based paints, chances are you've already gone to the trouble to look for solvent-resistant templates as well. A lot of them will say right on them that they are solvent proof, like these guys here. The Pocket Graphics one says they're solvent proof. Sometimes it will tell you in the description, but in any event, you'll know. And if you don't know, if you bought templates from someone who doesn't post it, just contact them and find out what they're made out of, so you know. Because what will happen is if you use a solvent on a template that can't take that type of material or cleaner, it'll ruin the template. It'll just soften them up, and you don't want that. So for water-based cleaners, for water-based paints, I generally use isopropyl rubbing alcohol. That's an inexpensive, great way to go. It breaks the paint down really well and safely. You can use any of the airbrush cleaners that are out there, and I'll put some links. This is one of my favorite airbrush cleaners. And you can also use the reducers that come with the paints. Those will also take off the paint off the shields. However, that's probably the most expensive option. So depending on what you want to spend, it goes either way. You can use some household cleaners, but it's hit or miss whether that stuff will break down the paint. So you're gonna have to do some experimentation, or or just play it safe and use the things that are that will work. So that's it. All right, so let's start with one of the small ones, and I'll show you. Oh, one more thing that you'll need too. Put some of these aside. You'll need just some sort of paintbrush. This is an oil painter's brush. It's fairly stiff, which is what you're looking for. You don't want something, gigantically stiff so you ruin the template, but you want something that you can kind of dig into the stencil with a little bit and scrub. Sometimes on really, really fine stencils, I'll use a watercolor brush, but rarely. So this is a really soft brush. Again, and the idea is to not damage any of these edges. So it's really pretty simple. What you want to do with your templates is you grab some of the cleaner. Actually, before I do this, as I'm prepping to do this, I'm just putting some of the cleaner on this paper towel. If you have a template that's really caked up, something like this, what I would do then is what I'm doing here is I would fill the bottom of this pan with whatever cleaner I choose and let it soak in there for a little while first. It'll really help to break up the paint as you go. So when you have something like this, it's going to take a little bit of work to get that off. But on the ones that just have some paint on them, you can just kind of go right at them and start cleaning them right away. So I take some of the cloth, and what I'll do is I'll basically pull at the stencil. So you kind of pull at the edges. You never want to push against those details, because as you do that, you have a great chance of catching one of those and folding one of those details and really, kind of damaging it. And you don't want to do that. Like that. Exactly. See? Luckily that didn't get damaged, but it shows you exactly what I was talking about. If you kind of push at it, you can really do a number on that. The other thing you can do is with the brush, grab a little bit of your cleaner. These are just mixing cups I get um, at the either at the drugstore, or you can find them just about anywhere. With the brush, you can really kind of get in there and scrub them, and it's the same kind of thing. You want to make sure you don't fold the template at all. You don't want to catch any of those edges. And what's nice with the brush is you can really get in there and scrub, which is nice. Cleans them off well. Flip it over because chances are you have paint on both sides. And again, you want to work with the edges as much as you can. Minimize the risk of, folding them like I did. And just keep working it, and what'll happen is you'll get all that paint off. And again, it takes a little bit of patience, especially with these really detailed stencils. With the less cutout stencils like this with the straight edges, you can really get in there and like scrub them hard, because you're not going to damage that. It just takes a little bit more patience with the more detailed templates like that, and that's it. So when you soak them, all the stuff really just starts to fall off like right away. So you see what's kind of how it just, even this heavily caked stencil, just like the paint will just start coming right off. You do have to work at it though, again, because you built this up in layers and layers and layers of paint. So you almost have to take it off in the same way. So what I'll frequently do is I will put them in the solution to soak for a little while, come in and scrub them out a little bit, and then leave them in the solution again for a little bit while longer, so that new layer can get kind of softened, and then just kind of run in and do the same thing and just rinse and repeat, literally. You just keep working it, and you can take an old crusty template in no time and turn it back into something that's brand new. So this template here has been soaking for a little while, so a lot of it has come off, but this template here, I got this in the 90s. So this is really old, but once I get it cleaned up, it's going to look brand new. So with the exception of just the actual age of the template, but you can really do a lot by kind of keeping up with these and cleaning them, and they'll last you a very, very long time, which is nice, because you can, instead of spending your money on replacing templates, you can buy new and different ones, which is always fun. It's what I do. So that is your template cleaning trick for the day. So if you enjoyed this, please like, follow, and subscribe. And I will put the description to a lot of these things in the description. If there's an item that's just kind of generic, I'll just grab something and post it up there, a link for it, just so you don't have to buy that exact thing, but it'll give you an idea what to look for. And that is Tech Tip Tuesday. So I hope you guys have a great week. Hope you guys come back next Tuesday and get the next tip. And if you have any suggestions, please put them in the comments for Tech Tip Tuesday. If you have anything to add too, if you have another tip or technique that pertains to this Tech Tip Tuesday, please put them in the comments below. That'll be great. If we share all this information, we'll have something really cool at the end. So I appreciate it, guys. Have a great week, and I will catch you guys on the next Tech Tip Tuesday.